Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Everything NYJ podcast. I am, as always, your host, Liam. I can't believe that we're already 4 episodes into the Everything NYJ podcast. I'm just having a ball doing this. I love it, guys. Thank you for all the support that you guys have been giving me on Twitter and everywhere else. It's been amazing, guys. Thank you very much for that. So, getting into it a little bit, obviously, the Jets are coming off of the Week 10 bye week. And let me tell you what, guys, it has been so nice, watching football on Sunday without the Jets. They needed this break badly. And it was just really nice watching, competent teams. It was really nice watching players scoring points, running down the field. We saw that Hail Mary from in Arizona with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. And, we don't see that with the Jets. And it was a nice change of pace. I will say that. It was a very nice change of pace. But it's back to reality. It's back to 0-9. It's back to losing every week. It's back to incompetent football. It's back to the New York Jets, right? Getting into the news a little bit, specifically the injuries, I'm sure everybody knows that Sam Darnold is still out. He has officially been now ruled out against the Chargers Sunday. He's still dealing with that shoulder injury with his throwing arm. And Joe Flacco is going to get the start. And it's just like I said, obviously he played well against New England that Monday night game, but I'm still just not really getting excited to watch Joe Flacco play. There's not much about a 35-year-old starter that excites me. I'm sorry. In other news, Brashad Perryman he was limited in practice today, and apparently he has a shoulder injury that he suffered during the Monday night game. I didn't really know about this, so that's definitely something to keep your eye on. I do think he's going to play, but that's my problem with Perryman is he can't seem to stay healthy, and that's really been the story of his whole NFL career. He can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the field. He's not consistent, and that's the problem. Outside of having the last 5 games of the year last year were obviously his best, and the Monday night game this year was probably his best game of the season. But other than that, he can't stay consistent. He can't stay healthy, and it's a big problem when guys can't stay on the field. Also, Mekhi Becton is expected to play. He's been good to go. It was just a little chest injury. It was nothing serious. So that's good, right? Getting into some more news, obviously the big news story of the week is that we have officially released cornerback Pierre Desir. Pierre Desir had 3 interceptions and 1 forced fumble this season, but other than that, he's been brutally horrible. He's been atrocious. It's been disgusting to watch him. And I called it last week on the podcast. I said I don't want this guy on the team. I don't want to see him on the field. Don't give him any playing time. I did not want him on the team. I was willing to give him a chance at the beginning of the season, but he just wasn't getting it done. It was embarrassing. He was getting blown off. It was just horrible, man. Every week, receivers were just running right by him. He was playing, 5 to 10 yards off every play, and he just wasn't a playmaker, He was good for the tanking, but at the end of the day, I do like the message that it sends, that we're not going to tolerate, as a franchise, we're not going to tolerate bad playing. If you're not getting the job done, you're not a good fit for the team. We have to start at some point looking towards the future. Obviously, I didn't think he was going to be a part of the future, and we have to show that losing is unacceptable. If you're not doing your job, if you're not making plays, then we don't need you on this team. That's all it shows. He's been benched multiple times, and I'm really hoping that some of the younger guys like Bryce Hall get a chance now. I'm really excited to see, hopefully, Bryce Hall getting that starting position. Maybe him and Lamar Jackson will split it or something. I still like Lamar Jackson as well. I think he has a lot of upside. It's just, we need to start seeing these rookies play more. And Pierre Desir, he's been around for a little while now, and he's getting a little bit older, and I just don't think that there was really a good, there wasn't a chance for him on this team. He didn't really have I didn't think he was gonna be a long-term option, excuse me, and I just didn't see the future with him. I don't think it was worth keeping him on this team. I think this was a very good move by Joe Douglas or whoever decided to make this move. Just get rid of him, release him, cut him. I don't want him on the team anymore. And I got to applaud Joe Douglas for that. Very good. Also, we have claimed the center/guard off of the Vikings, Pat Elflein. I hope I'm saying that right. Elflein. I believe I am. He will be a free agent at the end of the season, but he's only 26 years old, and he's a lot younger than guys like Alex Lewis and Greg Van Roten and Connor McDermott. He's younger than all of them, and he's very versatile. He can play center, and he has experience playing guard. So that's the kind of guys that Joe Douglas wants to bring in, guys that can play more than one position. And I got to say, in college, he played for Ohio State, and he was a stud in college. He really was. In 2016, he did win the Remington Trophy, which is a pretty big deal. And at the time, he was considered to be like one of the best linemen in college coming out of the draft. He was a very good player, and I'm excited to see him on this team, guys. I want to see what he can do. I hope that he can, start, replacing guys like I said, Alex Lewis and Van Roten and everybody else, McDermott. I want to see these younger guys, and I do think that he has a lot of upside, and I really hope that we can keep him longer than just this season. But this is going to be, now we're at the tail end of the season, about 7, games left, whatever it is. I think that this is going to be like a good, trial period for him. We're going to be able to see what he has, what do we have in him, and what can we sign him to? What is his worth? Obviously, Alex Lewis is making a lot of money. So, if he could replace him, then great. And he also knows, another position, which is also great. If somebody else happens to get hurt, he could easily step in for anybody else. And I just think that's really good. I'm excited to have him on the team. So I'm openly welcoming him. And I'm excited to see what he can do. So in other news with the NYJ podcast, I want to get into the expectations for the team after the bye week. Obviously, before the bye week, we were horrible. Everybody knows that. I'm not telling us anything that we didn't know. And, I say it every week, we're incompetent, we can't play, we can't coach, and we're just, miles behind where the NFL is going. So what am I honestly expecting after the bye week? What do I want to see? First off, I want to see the rookies play. I want to see them starting. I don't want to see any more Frank Gore. I don't want to see any more Joe Flacco. I'd rather see Lamicah Pirine, and I'd rather see James Morgan. I want James Morgan to start if Sam Darnold can't go anymore. I understand that they're probably going to go with the veteran quarterback, Joe Flacco, because he has the experience winning and he knows what he's doing out there. But he's not going to be here next season. He's only playing to showcase what he has for other teams going into next season. He's trying to most likely get a starting job somewhere next year, if not being a backup, but he's not going to be on the Jets next year, guys. Along with Frank Gore. Frank Gore might even just go and retire. Who knows what his deal is. But I don't get excited, like I said, There's nothing that excites me about seeing Frank Gore and Joe Flacco. I want to see the rookies. I'd rather lose 80-0 with rookies than getting blown out with veterans, or even losing close with veterans. I don't want the veterans on the team this year. I understand that normally we do need a good mixture of veterans and young guys, but it's just they're not doing anything to help us this season. This season has been a lost cause at this point. This season now has to be showcase what we have for the younger guys and see what holes we have. What do we need to get fixed? What positions need to be premium positions that we're drafting? And where do we have our holes? Who do we have? What don't we have to focus on? What position is pretty much secure? Which really, there's no position on this team that's really secure, honestly. This team is just full of holes. But at least, guys like Mekhi Becton and Mims, we know that we have some foundational pieces, and we need to build off of those guys. We can't build with Joe Flacco and Frank Gore. Like I said, I do want to see James Morgan starting. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see that. Also, I want to see Lamicah Pirine getting 12 to 15 carries per game instead of Frank Gore. Maybe Frank Gore gets 2 or 3. I don't even want Frank to be the backup. I want Ty Johnson to be RB2. And I want Ty Johnson to start getting some more reps too, because he looked pretty good a couple weeks ago when he was playing. He looks like maybe we do have something in him. I'm not saying he's a starter, and we don't know what Lamicah Pirine is either. But I'm definitely more excited to see Pirine and see if Pirine could be a starter rather than not knowing and giving Frank Gore more carries. I know that in the press conference today, Adam Gase did say that Pirine and Gore had equal carries, which that's not true. Everybody knows that. It's not true. And then it was such a poor excuse that Adam Gase too that he gave. He was just saying that, It all depends on the amount of plays we have. And that's just how guys, he's not making adjustments. No game goes exactly as planned. He goes, yeah, in pregame we have this one idea and then this happens during the game. Obviously, that's what happens. We don't, I don't know, man. We don't make adjustments, and it's just so frustrating. But anyway, I'm not going to get into a whole Gaze rant. I've done that multiple times. You guys know how I feel about Adam Gaze. But like I said, I want to see P. Ryan starting, and I want to see Ty Johnson being RB2, getting some of the reps as well. I don't want to see Frank Gore going out there unless, God forbid, one of those two guys are hurt. Also, I want to see more reps for Mims. I want to see him play all 4 quarters. I want maybe 15 targets. And I really think that Denzel Mims has a lot of upside. I do believe that, he could be a stud wide receiver if we continue to build with him. He hasn't played most of the season. He's only been playing about a couple weeks now. But I do like that, I like what we're seeing with Denzel Mims. He's made some incredible catches, and I really think that, he could be a deep threat, and he's just a good vertical passer, a good vertical wide receiver, excuse me. So yeah, I want to see him playing all 4 quarters. I don't know where he goes in the second half of games, but he just becomes like invisible. But that's what I want to see. Another thing I want to see is more of a vertical pass game. It worked with Perryman. He had 2 touchdowns the other night, and I don't want to see any more screen passes. That's one of my expectations. No more screen passes. Please, for the love of God, don't give us any more screen passes. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see any more, 2-yard dives up the middle. And another thing on defense, I want to see more blitzes. I want to see the corners stick the wide receivers. I don't want to see the corners playing 5 to 10 yards back. I'm tired of just, guys like, perfect example, Desir, he was just getting, players were just blowing right by him every week. I want to see them sticking players. I want to see them blitzing more. And, it's embarrassing because our defense used to be so good. And especially, like, with the corners, imagine, like, Darrelle Revis, like, on this, Darrelle Revis was obviously elite, and we don't have anybody who's even close to Darrelle Revis or his playing standards, on this team anymore. And it's just so embarrassing because for years, I know that we weren't good, but obviously we had a great defense. We always, built our pride on having a good defense, and it's just not there anymore. So, and most importantly, the last expectation I have is I want to see them, show up, play competitive. I don't want to see us getting blown out anymore. I understand that obviously we shouldn't be winning games at this point, but at least make it competitive. Go out there and give it your all. At least try. I'm so sick of watching us getting blown out and being, the laughingstock and getting embarrassed. I don't want to see that anymore. Monday night was a good showing of what this team could be if they try. I understand the Patriots aren't, the Patriots. They're not the team that we think of when we think of the Patriots. There's no more Tom Brady, no more Gronkowski, and, just all those guys. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you play who's on your schedule, and we played competitive. And that's what I want to see every week. I don't mind if we're losing by a field goal. I don't mind if we're losing by a touchdown. But be in the game. Give it your best effort. Try. That's all I want to see from these guys. I just want to see them try. I want to be. I don't mind if it's a close game. I don't like when we're getting blown out every week, man. It's embarrassing. And I understand a lot of you guys don't, believe in tanking. And like I said, I don't believe in it either, especially, in past years. This is the only year that I'm like kind of rooting for it because I understand that this season is lost. We have nothing to gain from this season. So the last thing before I wrap this up, it's going to be the Jets-Chargers preview. Obviously, the Chargers aren't that good, but they do have some, stars on their team. Rookie quarterback Justin Herbert. They have Joey Bosa, Keenan Allen, Ingram. They have some playmakers. And, currently they're 2-7. I do think that the Jets could beat them. I don't want to say that. I don't want to see that happen. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Jets are probably going to lose like 14-7 or something like that. I don't really see like LA putting up like a lot of points in this game. But I don't want to see the Jets win, obviously, and that doesn't make me a bad fan. That, I care about the future. I care about, what's in the best interest for the Jets long term. And I think losing at this point is the best, gives the Jets the best chance to succeed in the long run. I will say that. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Obviously, like I said, I'm saying Jets are losing 14-7. That's my prediction. You guys can do what you want with that. I hope it's somewhere in that ballpark. I don't want it to be like, I don't think the Chargers are going to score a ton of points on us, but I don't want it to be like 30-3 or something like that, something crazy, something stupid. I don't want to see that. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at EVERYTHING NYJ. And I want to start doing some fan questions, so definitely, tweet me your fan questions. I will answer them in the Everything NYJ podcast. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a good night. Thank you.